purse and passport behind. The homeowners were equally shocked. Said Mama Bear Cheryl Pedowitz, "Not what I expected to see when I walked into my house. We just stood there a bit looking at each other like, what do we do? She says, quote, there was lots of bottles of wine that she drank. She was clearly not in a clear state. I told her I was calling the police. As soon as I said that, she grabbed a few things and ran out the house, out the back door." So it's Goldie, Florida woman, and the 3 Florida family members. It's Goldie Drunk. That's what her name is. Goldie Drunk and the 3 Floridians. That's that story. Book 'em, Dano. This is I told you needed to get brushed up on what has been happening in Florida. This Florida woman, according to the Palm Beach Post, and of all the things you're going to steal from a store, this is probably some of the oddest collections of merchandise I've ever seen. Police say that a woman walked into a Sears and stole perfume and a chainsaw. She had an accomplice. It was 2 Florida women. According to Palm Beach Post, 2 people reportedly walked out of a Boynton Beach Sears without paying for $371 worth of merchandise, including a chainsaw, says a probable cause affidavit. Chet Buchanan and Kim Bouchard, 42, both of Boynton Beach, put 2 bottles of perfume and a chainsaw blade into a cart and just walked straight out of the store. Bouchard paid for a pair of sandals, and when the cashier asked if the chainsaw needed to be rung up, she said it was already taken care of. It took place last Sunday. Bouchard told police that Buchanan was not involved. Both faced charges of grand theft of more than $300. I mean, sometimes, Kevin, you just need to go and get you a chainsaw and some perfume.
That's definitely. And that's a good combination.
You want to smell good when you're out chainsawing.
Definitely. You don't want to smell like gasoline. You want to put all that perfume on there.
What gets me is that the details that I am most interested in, these news stories do not actually cover. Like, what kind of perfume was it? I'm just kind of curious, Like, what kind was it? Just something I'd like to know. Palm Beach Post. Woman with a machete. A Florida woman with a machete held family captive and threatened to kill a deputy with voodoo. Authorities say a Broward County woman held her family captive inside their home, threatening them with a machete. When Palm Beach County deputies arrested her, she said she would not go to court because she was fleeing to Haiti and she'd put a powerful curse on the deputies and kill them with voodoo. Amelia Thelsmont, 32, faces charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, false imprisonment, and others. She remains in the Palm Beach County Jail after a judge ordered her, clearly, to have a mental health evaluation before her next court date. I'm surprised she actually didn't get charged with threatening an officer. Isn't that like an additional charge? Because she threatened to kill a deputy with some voodoo.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. By the way, there are, just on this story, there are 4 stories in Florida of machete attacks. I'm not making this up. I'm just reading these headlines. Jupiter, Florida man, age 40, charged in machete threat. Port St. Lucie police, Florida man holds machete to wife's throat. Palm Beach County man accused of hacking girlfriend to death with a machete. Machete attack lands Florida man in the hospital. I mean, for real. Machetes everywhere. I didn't realize that was like a big problem in Florida with the machetes, but apparently so.
Get more Dana Show at 971talk.com.
This Dana Show podcast brought to you by Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Need service, maintenance, or a new HVAC system? Air Comfort Service works 24/7, keeping area homes and businesses comfortable. If you have a heating and cooling problem, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Dana Lash is off and running, generating the buzz.
All bets are off at this point.
So great to talk to you, Dana. You're my favorite.
Dana, you and I are blood brothers for the American dream.
Dana Lash, the conservative alternative. This is The Dana Show.
A group that supported Republican Mississippi Senator Thad Cochran in his re-election bid against State Senator Chris McDaniel paid a controversial political consultant $44,000 to conduct political phone calls. Henry Barber, the head of Mississippi Conservatives PAC and the nephew of former Mississippi Governor Haley Barber, confirmed for the D.C. that the PAC paid Mitzi Bickers to make paid phone calls to potential Cochran supporters. Bickers is the former head of the Atlanta School Board and a pastor at the city's Emmanuel Baptist Church. She is also a political operative who got into trouble.
I tell you, that is the more on this insane situation going down in Mississippi with the Mississippi Senate runoff. Chris McDaniel did not concede, and now there's a lot of fraudulent votes being found in an investigation, which, of course, was the entire reason that poll watchers like True the Vote and the Senate Conservatives Fund and so many other groups were there to uphold election integrity. And it just goes to show you that the Republicans in Mississippi, they're doing a disservice to their entire party. They're willing to give the left a narrative because they wanted to win that seat for Thad Cochran at all costs. At all costs. Even by trying to impugn the character of people anyone on the right. By going into these, everyone, if you don't vote for Thad Cochran, you're a racist. And people who don't like Thad Cochran, that old white man, are racists. That's basically what they were doing, Haley Barber. Now, what makes this whole situation, this whole story worse is because there was, one of the leaders of the Mississippi Tea Party, Mark Mayfield, committed suicide this morning. It gets worse. According to the Clarion Ledger, he was the vice chairman of the Mississippi Tea Party. He was charged with conspiring with a guy to photograph Senator Thad Cochran's bedridden wife. She has dementia in a nursing home. And even here, the thing is that there's actually no substantive proof that Mayfield was involved in any of this. But yet he was, it's Mississippi. So Barber runs everything. So he was charged with conspiring, and they've never been able to show what he actually had to do with any of that. It's unbelievably awful, this whole situation in Mississippi. Yeah, they were so mad that someone was, and ultimately I think what the goal, and I don't know they shouldn't have gone into a nursing home to that's ridiculous. But here's the thing about this. Thad Cochran reportedly was not faithful to his wife. There's a ton of stuff around this. He is apparently living with his aide. They've been traveling together. If you Google Thad Cochran's wife up, his aide shows up with him. That's not his wife. I mean, my friend Eric Erickson said that Thad Cochran is an unfaithful husband, and he's done so in an open and notorious manner, not even rivaled by Bill Clinton. His wife is in a nursing home, and he's living with a staffer, traveling around with his staffer. I'm sorry, but for better or for worse means even if your wife or husband has dementia and you're in a nursing home. That's what for better or for worse means. So, I mean, agree, disagree, Kevin? I mean, that's...
You are correct.
That's what you're gonna after your wife or your husband, they spend their best years with you, and then they have dementia or have Alzheimer's, whatever, and they end up not being able to care for themselves. You abandon them? That's not what for better or for worse means. And then, and the thing is that he doesn't carry on with his staffer in a private way. I mean, he takes her to all these galas and everything else. They've traveled, let's see here, according to Illegal Insurrection and Red State, they have traveled to Italy and France, Brussels, Ireland, the UK, Belgium, Hungary, Russia, Spain, Portugal, all these different countries together. Cochran, her name's Kay Weber, they have gone to traveling to Sonoma because she's apparently in the wine industry. They have attended 33 different trips on the congressional record together. People have been paying for Weber's travel to the tune of $155,000. They're paying for Thad Cochran's mistress's travel. So I don't trust. I don't put a lot of trust in candidates who, if they're going to lie to if they're going to do this to their spouse, can you imagine what they do to the taxpayer? What they do to the voters? Just putting that out there. It just goes to show you they wanted to win at all costs. They didn't care. So they went